Lights out, away they go. Michael Kammer leads round the infinity curve. Makes a small mistake, so Matza has got the lead. Generoso Matza leads with the 2 car, this orange-coloured car. Number 2 car leading away. The number 1 car just about hangs on to second place. He's being challenged by Madaloni, but fantastic start there from Matza. He saw an opportunity. First time really that Kammer and Matza have seen each other on circuit this weekend. They were in different qualifying heats. So we've got 45 minutes to run. We're expecting a probably 11 stop final. They're running for about 4 minutes. So I think we're going to see about 11 fuel stops. At the moment, we are running with the car of Generoso Matza, the number 2 car. We're not going to be moving away from the lead battle. Remember, no bump ups. This is the main final. This is the battle for the European B Championships. So we are trying to keep track of the number or of the lead car all the time. At the moment, that is the 2 car. He's just made his way past some traffic. That's the 7 car of Caporossi. So already making his way through traffic as we are less than 2 minutes into the run. Generoso Matza then leading from Michael Kammer. These two already pulling a gap from Madaloni in 3rd place. The all-orange coloured car accelerating out of the EFRA turn now. Generoso Matza down the main straight. Let's see what speed he hits as he pitches it into infinity. 109 kilometres per hour, just under 70 miles an hour. Out of the EFRA turn once more. Down the main straight, through the infinity turn. Snaking through the Shepherd S. The 2 car of Matza still leading from the 1 car of Kammer. Kammer closing in ever so slightly as they come towards the end of their first stint. They're just under 3 minutes in. Kammer took about 1/4 second out of Matza that time round. We're watching the number 2 car at the moment of Generoso Matza pulling away from the, or leading away, sorry, from the 1 car of Michael Kammer. Got past him on the first lap. Got the car of Kammer closing in though, inexorably edging towards him through the Shepherd S. Goes Matza. Kammer's going to appear in the back of shot any moment now. In the slow corners, you'll probably see him. In some of the fast corners, maybe not. Matza still leading from Kammer. Those guys got a good lead from Madaloni. Coming back round to traffic yet again. Generoso Matza still holds on to the lead. Michael Kammer trying to close him down. They've gone through the infinity curve, now around the Shepherd S. In fact, Kammer made a little mistake on the exit of infinity. They're coming out of EFRA. It's going to be a slightly slower lap from Kammer this time round, I think. In fact, Kammer still recovered it later on in the... no, sorry, it was a 14.95 second lap. So, yeah, it was a slower lap from Kammer. Took a while to update on the scoreboard. But Matza pits, as does Kammer, and Kammer's just got it wrong coming into the pits as well. He just had a half spin coming into the pits. So Matza's lead increases as he comes out now behind some traffic. I think that's Ripoll that he's behind. It's the 9 car of Ripoll. Yeah, Ripoll called out of his way. So actually that worked out really well for Matza. He got a big gap over Kammer through that pit sequence. He's also managed to get 4 cars in between him and Michael Kammer. So Generoso Mazza was starting to come under pressure from Michael Kammer before the first round of pit stops, and he was catching some traffic. He saw the opportunity to pit. He pitted and got out just in front of a gaggle of traffic. Kammer pitted at the same time, had a half spin coming into the pits, and ended up just behind that lot of traffic that he was trying to avoid. So not really working out particularly well for Michael Kammer through the pits. He is now lapping quicker again. He's taken about 0.2 of a second a lap out of Mazza, but Mazza's got about the length of the main straight lead, so he can afford to give away a little bit of that time. This is the orange number 2 car of Mazza that we're running with, just coming past us now out onto the main straight. Our leader led since lap number 1. We are 6 minutes in. We've just passed the 6-minute mark. So a 45-minute final, by far the longest that these drivers will have run for all weekend. 20-minute finals they were running earlier. Mazza and Kammer not having done any racing at all today. In fact, this is their first race of the weekend. They had a 10-minute warm-up session earlier, but that is the extent of what they've done. Still running with this number 2 car of Mazza. You'll find during these main finals we'll be sticking with the lead battle, or the lead car. There's no bump-ups to speak of. So this is what we want to be watching. The number 2 car of Mazza leading the 1 car of Kammer. Mazza slightly slow lap that time round as he went through some traffic, but he's accelerating out of the EFRA turn now. The number 2 car just coming past us, the all-orange car on the main straight, round the infinity curve, through the Shepherd S. More traffic that he's catching. Always going to be the problem in a 45-minute final. You're going to catch and not pass, catch and pass plenty of people at different points. It was a small mistake on the exit of Infinity from Mazza. Sorry, I got there's a lot of orange cars out there, so just briefly lost sight of Mazza, but picked him back up again. Running with Mazza, the number 2 orange car, just following this yellow car out of EFRA, down into just straight underneath us now, out onto the main straight. So his lead over Kammer is growing. Kammer had a slow lap last time round whilst he was dealing with the traffic that slowed Mazza earlier. So Mazza will be quite happy with that he's managed to put a few... Oh, Mazza's just tapped the wall coming onto the pit straight. Hopefully that's not any damage to him. He just runs a little bit wide. He's going to have knocked his rhythm a little bit. Let's just see if the car appears intact. It was a glancing blow. I think he's probably got away with that. That would be a cruel blow for Mazza to just having driven pretty much flawlessly all weekend to end up losing out with such a tiny little mistake. It can happen though. That's we've got the leader pitting, so Mazza pits. Mazza into the pits, refueled, sent out on his way. So he rejoins, flows into the infinity curve. He's coming through Shepherd now, behind another car. Just heading round onto the main straight. He's past that traffic. Still going quite nicely then for Mazza. Generoso Mazza leading this since the start, pretty much. Only losing the lead through the pit sequences. He's just coming underneath us now. Second place man, the 1 car, just crossing the line now. So really the whole length of the main straight and the whole of the infinity curve is Mazza's lead. So going really nicely for Mazza. So nicely done, really nicely managed race. Mazza didn't qualify into the top heat for this Euro Bs, but is now demonstrating his class. He's pulling away at the front of the field. Edging away that time, he got 2/10 on Michael Kammer. Michael Kammer not in... in fact, no, Michael Kammer is in traffic, so that's probably why Matza's pulling a bit of a gap. There's a car the wrong way on the straight, and Matza has to come to almost a complete stop to... I mean, that was Maxime Ripoll, I think, and yeah, Matza... he'll have a bit of a dry cleaning bill after that, I would suspect. Down the main straight, he'll be breathing a bit happier. There's been some kind of accident. There's a very mangled looking... I think that might be the car of Weihart that I've just seen out of the corner of my eye that's looking particularly second-hand. Very, very short wheelbase, but we're still running with the 2 car of Matza. Exits Infinity into the Shepherd S now. This orange-coloured car, he had a brief scare. Down the main straight, round the Infinity curve. Through the little Shepherd S. Nice flick there. Generoso Matza's car looking very stable, very planted. Pulled half a second on Kammer that time round. Not being too unsettled by what was going on out there. We are 11 and a half minutes into the final pretty much. So just coming up to the 11 and a half minute mark now. 45-minute final, remember. So huge amount of time to run still. Anything can happen. I suspect Matza's life will have flashed before his eyes when he saw that prone car of Ripoll facing him as he entered the main straight and just got ready to gas it up. Couldn't do a thing about it, just had to hope that Ripoll didn't gun the throttle either. Then he would have been taking home a very expensive bin bag. It would have been like a plane crash. The marshal would have needed a leaf blower to clean that one up. He got away with it. Since then, he's been consistently lapping about a 10th faster than Michael Kammer. So at this stage of the race, Kammer does not look like he has an answer to the pace of Matza. Matza been the leader really since lap 1, apart from during the pit stop sequences. But he has been the net leader all the way through the race. Car starting to look a little bit loose as he exits EFRA. Closing in on the 7 car of Caparossi to put him a further lap down. This is where you rely on the referees as a driver, because much as you know roughly who's around you, you cannot really get any kind of figure on who's about. And Matza pits, so Matza in the pits. Nice steady pit stop from Matza. He's got a decent lead, so doesn't need to worry about it too much. And he's rejoined actually just behind Kammer, so almost a complete pit stop he has as his lead over Kammer. So Kammer will be well, the only thing possibly worse for Kammer would be realising that Matza had enough of a lead to pit and get out in front of him. I think he probably did if his pit man was really, really on it, but he didn't need to be. So, yeah, Kammer's just had another half spin coming into pit lane. He did that earlier as well. So Kammer struggling on the entry to the pits. He's done that twice in 3 stops now. We're still running with the number 2 car though, our lead car of Generoso Matza. He's coming through the Shepherd S. Sort of the brighter of the orange-coloured cars out there. He's past the car of, I think that was Weihart, the 4 car that he's passed. In fact, Weihart up and running again. Quite surprised to see him because his car looked very mangled earlier when it was carried back past us. Nice, comfortable lead for Matza. It's exactly what you want as a driver. You don't want to be under pressure all the time. It really helps your case when you come up on traffic. You know that you can deal with them, not have to worry about anybody dive bombing you. Kammer has stopped out the back. We saw Kammer have that half spin. So Matza's lead now up to the best part of half a lap. And actually Kammer's car starting to look a bit loose, I can see. So at this rate, Kama's still running second, but Kama losing about quarter of a second a lap to Matza. So Matza just demonstrating some crushing pace at the moment. Equally, Kama's got a fairly decent lead over the third place car of Maddaloni. Matza leading then the orange coloured car, number 2 car. Accelerated out of EFRA just now. He's just about to come underneath us now. Down the main straight. Some of the traffic in front of him pits as he goes through Infinity. Now through the Shepherd S. Just coming up towards the 16-minute mark. Great run coming together here for Generoso Matza. Led this final since the start. Looked early on like he would have a challenge from Michael Kama, but he's just continued plugging away at the same pace. Really good run coming together for Matza, but it only takes one slight slip in concentration. Struggling through the traffic there on the Shepherd S. The traffic gets the call from the ref finally. Out of Matza's way. Everything just falling for Matza. Every time he appears behind a bunch of cars, a few of them seem to be pitting. If I was him, I'd maybe consider buying a lottery ticket later. Not that this is just luck. It's a great drive as well. Really good pace shown all the way through by Matza. Kama maybe looks like he can run at a similar pace on a completely clear track, but Matza's doing it through traffic. He's doing it every lap. That's the thing that's setting him apart from Kama. The relentless pace that Matza is showing, the consistency. Just chipping away every single lap. That's the thing that can really set a driver apart. It's not the ability to do one fast lap. Plenty of drivers out there can do one fast lap by themselves, and Matza pits again. Plays it nice and safe. Fuel gun goes in. Car released. Out through the Infinity curve. He has now actually pitted and rejoined, still in the lead, so his lead big enough that time round that he could pit and still exit in front of Michael Kama. So a huge lead for Generoso Matza. Just watching Matza now coming underneath us with the 2 car. Closing in on the 3 car of Maddaloni, who is still running third. So he's about to lap the third place car at 18 minutes. So not even halfway into the race, the third place car driving around thinking, yeah, I'm on a good run, man. I'm happy with this. I've got a podium at a European Championships. And he's just been lapped by the leader. That's a kick in the guts. That's not going to be a nice feeling. But Maddaloni is still running in a podium position at a European Championships. Watching now, Matza still closing in on the car of Weihart. I'm amazed that Weihart is still running, given the mess that his car looked in earlier as it was recovered back to the pits. Mechanics have clearly worked wonders. Does the nice thing, pulls out of the way of the leader. Been called by the referee. Through the Shepherd S now, out of the EFRA turn. Past the 10 car of Priolo. Everybody treating Generoso Matza with respect here. Seeing Maddaloni is showing currently in front of Kama, but I believe that's because Kama has stopped and Maddaloni hasn't. Don't think they were close enough. I'm pretty sure Kama had enough of a lead to get out in front of Maddaloni. We are still running with the 2 car though of Matza. Led this one since the start. The only time he's been headed is through the pit sequences, and now his lead is so great he can even afford to pit and not lose his lead, sorry. Runs down the main straight. Let's see what speed he clocks that time. 103k. He was maybe slightly slowed by a car entering the pits in front of him. Such is Mazza's lead, though. He doesn't really need to worry about that. Just seen Kama's actually dropped down the field, so Kama's had a problem in second place. So now Mazza has got the lead from Maddaloni, who he's lapped. So over a lap lead now for Mazza. This a demonstration drive really from Mazza. Pretty unfortunate for Kama, who was the pole man, the TQ man. Lost the lead on lap number 1 and has really fallen away pretty much from Mazza the whole run. He looked like he could challenge him early on, but Mazza's pace has just been relentless. It's just been so consistent, popping in sort of 14.8s pretty much every lap. In fact, just to hammer that home, his last 2 laps have both been 14.78 flat. So varying by less than 1/100th of a second. So really nice drive coming together here for Mazza, overlapping the lead from Maddaloni. It's going really, really well from the lead. Working absolutely superbly there for Mazza. Traffic's getting out of his way. We have got Kama rejoin. Kama has rejoined and is pulling away. Kama is closing on the cars in front of him, closing in on the back of the field, but Mazza is just streaking away from everybody. Still running with Mazza as he goes through the Shepherd S. Underneath us now, down the main straight into the infinity curve, closing in on the yellow coloured car. See if I can spot who that is. I think that's the 5 car of Vincerith. So he is about to lap the 3rd place car for the 2nd time. So I'm not quite sure what Mazza is doing, to be honest, in this final. How he ended up seeded in the Bs. And I mean, he didn't even end up seeded at the top of the B championship. So, yeah, not sure. He should maybe consider selling some of those sandbags that he clearly possesses. But really, really good drive here from Mazza. Dominated the final. I'm not going to say from start to finish, but we're 23 minutes in now, so we've just crossed the half distance mark. 45-minute final, so the only thing really that's going to deny Mazza in this one, I think, is a mechanical failure. He's already a lap up on 2nd place man. He's already 2 laps up on 3rd place man Vincerith. So a huge, huge lead for Generoso Mazza. Accelerates past someone down the main straight. I think that was Vincerith. It was Vincerith that just got out the throttle to let him go. Vincerith realises that he's in a really good position. In fact, he's in quite a lonely position himself. He's running in front of Dominin, the junior driver, running in 4th place. And he's got a hefty lead over him. So, yeah, Vincerith not wanting to put that at risk at all. Number 2 car then of Generoso Mazza, still leading as he tips it into the infinity turn. 109k as he crossed the start-finish line through Shepherd S now. Out of the EFRA turn. He passes the, even has time to just back off as sees all the action unfolding in front of him. He wants no mistakes. He knows how much of a lead he's got, how much of an opportunity he's got to seal this Euro B title as he heads down the main straight into infinity once more. Through the Shepherd S. across the start-finish line, through infinity and beyond for Matza. Out of the EFRA turn, closing it in on the 9 car of Ripoll, who is 30 laps down on him. So Ripoll obviously having had a problem. He's had the car worked on and he is back out there and circulating. You may as well in a 45-minute final, no matter how many laps down you are, if you can get that car repaired and back running again, you never know what's going to happen. He's very unlikely to win. That would take some kind of catastrophe to befall everybody, but Matza taking his time through the traffic. He's been afforded the opportunity to do that by this huge lead that he's pulled. Small issue for the 1 car of Kama earlier on, which was the only car that was initially within touching distance for the first 5 minutes or so. But Matza really looked like he's had this under control from the start. Took the lead on lap 1, never looked back, he's just pitted. So Mechanic really taking his time over that fueling stop, very methodical. It doesn't matter. That's absolutely perfect. Matza will not believe how well this final is going. Everything is just falling into place for him. Working really well out there. Looking really good for Matza. Down the main straight once more, past the exit of the pit lane into the infinity curve, through the Shepherd S. Traffic gets right out of his way. That was the 10 car of Priolo who's just jumped out of his way. Everybody just holding this one together. Really good run coming together for Generoso Matza. Probably not the most interesting final ever to watch. There are no bump-ups though in this, so we are running with the leader. There are no battles for position going on down the field either. So Matza putting on a masterclass at the front of the field, deserving all the plaudits. This would be cruel if anything was to deny him, but he is the only driver lapping in the 14s. He's some half a second quicker a lap than anybody else out there at the moment, is Matza. So despite having the ability to cruise, and he'll probably feel like he's cruising up there on the rostrum, he is just pulling away relentlessly from the rest of the pack. Maddaloni running in second place with the 3 car. A 14.5 that time from Matza. So he's just doing these lap times at will, really. So Matza looking so comfortable out there. Car just getting better and better as the tyres wear down. He's got the ability to just cruise around 106k as he crosses the start-finish line that time. Flows out of EFRA, gets on the throttle. He's got so much time. The car looks so relaxed out there. The only danger is that he doesn't fall asleep on the rostrum, pretty much. As daft as that may sound, when you've got such a big advantage, it's really easy to throw that away. I can see him on the rostrum. He's got a huge grin on his face, actually. He's enjoying this, and I think I would be too. He's just watching the car go around. It's been a fantastic performance from Matza from start to finish. He took the Super Pole yesterday on his first lap. In Super Pole, he was the last car to run. He knew what he had to do. He went out there and he did it. He took that, removed all doubt. Down the main straight once more, into the infinity curve. Coming up towards the half-hour mark, so we're nearly 2/3 distance in this first main final of the day. Down the main straight once more, through the infinity curve. Matza still accelerating through across the start-finish line. Car sounding good, car sounding crisp as it passes underneath us. Coming through the Shepherd S. Still the 2 car of Matza. Comes into the pits. Can really take his time. Slows down, hits his marks. Released. Got all the time in the world. That's a great position as a mechanic as well, having pitted for a few people. You really feel pressure when you've got your car battling with another car. As he comes into the pits, you really feel the pressure to absolutely nail that pit stop, get that pit stop perfect and get your man back out there and running exactly where he should be on the circuit, or even in front if you can get him to jump another car. If you have the opportunity to really take your time, if he's got a nice big lead, everything can be a little bit more chilled, a little bit more relaxed, and in fact it can end up being quicker. A case of less haste, more speed when it comes to pitting. Matza still leading then as he closes in on some more traffic. I'll see if I can spot who that is. I think that's the 7 car of Caparossi. It is the 7 car of Caparossi that he's pulling away from. So going away from the number 7 car. He's got past Caparossi, who has pulled out the way and let him go. Matza then still leading this one with the number 2 car. Closing in now on the, let's see what car this is he's closing on. 32.5 minutes gone. It's the 8 car. It's the 8 car of Dominin. And Dominin backflips in front of him. So coming through the Shepherd turn. And Matza, has the opportunity to jump on the brakes there. Again, that lead that he's got affords him the opportunity to do that. So slow lap that time round from Matza, but that was just purely because he saw a prone car lying on its roof. He had the opportunity to jump on the brakes and wend his way round. So Matza now probably starting to realise the position he's in, how much of a lead he's got. Still got a dirty big grin on his face on the rostrum. This is the point though where you start getting worried about any little gremlins that might creep in. Start wondering, did that pick up okay as I came off the corner? What was that noise? He knows the position he's in. Still doing 14.7s. So got plenty of pace in his pocket if he needs it. 14.8 that time round. Only 103 across the start-finish line that time for Matza. But I'm pretty sure, let's see what he does this time. 106, I think that's purely just him backing off a little bit early. He knows he hasn't got to attack into infinity. He can just cruise around. He's not really pushing the car around that final curb and taking any risks. His lead is such that he can drive around the middle of the circuit, but he's doing that and he's still pulling away. That's got to be so demoralising for the rest of them. Guys like Maddaloni running in second, he's doing everything he can, hoping to put some kind of pressure on Matza, just in case something cracks, something breaks. Got to say, it would be really cruel for Matza if anything was to deny him now. But that is racing. It has happened many times before. We are coming up to the 35-minute mark, so we've just ticked across that. There are 10 minutes of this final remaining. 10 minutes of this final to go. Then Matza still leads from Maddaloni. Matza in again. They do not want Matza running out of fuel. They're going to put in an extra stop just to be sure. it doesn't matter what time he does at the end of the race. So given his lead, that is the entirely sensible thing to do. Do not risk it on fuel. Get yourself on a clear bit of circuit. He was catching a bunch of cars that he probably didn't fancy being amongst. Good call by the mechanic there for Matza. .106 as he crossed the stripe that time. He's coming through the Shepherd S. Out of the EFRA turn. Demonstration drive from Matza really from start to finish. Well, we haven't finished yet. Let's hope we're talking demonstration from start to finish. Fantastic drive coming together though for Generoso Matza. Don't think anyone will be too upset if he brings this one home. Cruising into every corner now. He's coming off the throttle so early. But the lap times are still there. This is going to feel an alien. He spent all weekend hustling the car around the track, trying to do these lap times. And now he's just in absolute cruise mode and the lap times are still coming. He's just rolling into every corner, just cruising at the front and still pulling away. Matza leading then by absolutely huge amount. Let's pick up the second place car of Maddaloni then, the 3 car. We'll run for a few minutes with the number 3 car of Maddaloni. It's the white and pink car just down the main straight. In fact, he's just pitted now. So Maddaloni just coming into the pits. He's being refueled. That's a fairly leisurely stop as well. So Maddaloni rejoins through Infinity. He's actually rejoined with just in front of Matza. So Matza's lapped him for the second time. Matza's got an absolutely huge lead. Let's run with Maddaloni for a little bit. Looking like going to be our second place man. It's been a great performance from him. So we will run with the number 3 car of Maddaloni. She comes through the Shepherd S. Out of the EFRA turn, he's just coming round. Following round Matza. Matza will be quite content to have him there, knowing he's got 2 laps of an advantage. He's come through Shepherd. A little bit of a worry as he passes the 7 car of Caparossi. Let's see if we can find the 5 car of Vincerith as well, our 3rd place man. That's the number 5 car. I think this is him. No, that's the 6 car. Let's find the 5 car of Vincerith. He's got to be in this pack as well then somewhere. The 5 car, we've got him. He's the yellow coloured car. So he's actually only 1 car in front of Maddaloni. So you've got first place has lapped the field twice. You've got second place has lapped the field once. In fact, no, second place has lapped the field twice as well. So a 2-lap lead for Matza, over Maddaloni, who in turn has a 2-lap lead over Wincerith, who has got a lap lead over Weihart. In fact, he hasn't, no. Weihart and Vincerith are pretty close to one another, actually, looking at that. Weihart snuck up from the back there, so with his smashed wrecked car, we didn't see that. I mean, Weihart had a wrecked car earlier on. He's closed in quite a lot, and he's actually, with 5 minutes to go, Weihart's gaining on Wincerith for 3rd place, so this could be a really good podium battle. We will go back at the end to Matza, but he's so far in the lead. unless he has any kind of a breakage, that's him having won this, I think. Don't think we're going to see any kind of battle there, but got a bit of a problem for Weihart because he's got Winterith in front of it. No, hang on, we've had a stop there for Weihart. Is that how he got that close to Winterith? I think he might be out of sequence on his stops because he had that earlier crash and needed to straighten the car out. I think that might be what's happening. We'll keep an eye on that towards the end, just see how close Weihart gets to Winterith. I think they appeared artificially close at that stage of the race because Winterith had made his stop and Weihart hadn't. And Weihart's just clouted the wall again. Think he's got away with it. 4 minutes left to run. 4 minutes of this final run to run then of a 45-minute final. Seems to have gone pretty quickly. Three minutes 30 left. Generoso Mats are still leading by a huge amount. 3 laps now. He seems to have got, or 2 laps from Maddaloni. Maddaloni stopped. We're running with the 5 car of Winterith. Winterith there now looking fairly comfortable from Weihart. So I think the reason that we saw Weihart very close to Winterith and we hadn't seen it coming was that they were out of sequence with each other on pit stops after Weihart's earlier crash and mistake. I think now with 3 minutes to go, we probably want to go back to the 2 car of Matza, the orange car on the main straight now. He's coming through Infinity, coming through the Shepherd S. So we are back with our leader for the run home. Final 3 minutes then for Generoso Matza. Needs to bring this one home to win the European B title. Closing in on Winterith. In fact, Winterith's had an extra splash and dash. So Weihart might get fairly close. Matza's come in for the pit stop again. They really do not want him to run out of fuel. His lead's so great, he can afford to stop pretty much every lap now. He's got a 2-lap lead. So he just needs to make sure that he gets to the end of this run. Just keeping half an eye on that battle for 3rd place, but we're coming up to 2 minutes left. I don't think Weihart's going to get close enough to Winterith. No, Weihart's just made a mistake coming out onto the main straight. I think that should be enough for Winterith to hang on to it. Matza hanging on to the lead through the exit of Infinity. That's lap traffic, but he gets right out of the way. He just wants to cruise and bring that home. He does not want to be pressured by any cars. He's just rolling the car around, stroking it round. He's not nursing any problems. He is just making sure he gets that car home. Just cruising home then for Matza. 1 minute 20 to go. Just seeing in the background, actually, Weihart has closed right in on Winterith. We'll see if this develops into anything behind. 1 minute to go. Matza leading. Matza's going to win this. We have got Winterith right, and Weihart's taken it off of Winterith right at the in the background. So that has happened. Weihart has recovered and got the position off of Winterith. That's out of the back of our shot. We are running with the 2 car though of Matza, the lead car, as he crosses the line. We have got 25 seconds left. He's going to finish this lap. Let's see what the time is as he crosses the line. 43, 44, 45. This could be his last lap. Goes through Infinity. He is through the Shepherd S. He's out of EFRA. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Generoso Matza crosses the line to win the European B title. Maddaloni will come second. Weihart gets 3rd from Winterith right at the end. So great comeback drive at the end there from Weihart after his very bent-looking car was recovered back to the pits. He chased down. Apologies, we couldn't bring that to you, but that's awesome drive from Matza there. He looks very happy with himself, punching the air, and great drive there from Matza. Yeah, getting congratulated by his fellow drivers. That's an awesome performance.